What is it called?
I don't know. Wearing earrings? Filling all your
It's
holes.
like a set.
Oh
Kelly,
God,
Kelly,
that can't make the
Kelly.
pod.
That has to make the pod.
Welcome to Court Captains, a volleyball podcast.
Where we talk all things Pro Volleyball Federation. I'm Kelly.
I'm Nikki.
I'm Ian, and today we're talking PVF Wake 6 plus like a little extra game on Monday night.
Big upset on
Awesome.
Monday
Yeah.
night.
A random little big upset. Okay, well, for today, we're going to start with a fun little anecdote from me. Then we're going to answer some listener questions. Then we'll go through transactions, injuries, and the subsequent All-Star roster updates. And then after that, the usual programming, Scorner, matches, and a dear PVF from Ian.
Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. So this is after Valentine's Day, and I have a little story to tell about how Alex got me a Valentine's gift, and I was looking for some small hoop earrings. I haven't worn earrings in a long time. I wanted to bring it back, and I've been seeing, what are the kids calling it these days? When you wear a bunch of earrings on your many pierced ears.
It's
A
your
stack? A stack.
Yep, your earring stack. Yep.
But anyway, I wanted an earring stack. I have a lot of piercings. I haven't been doing a great job with it lately. So that's what I was looking for. I asked Alex for Valentine's Day for earrings, and I sent him a couple examples. And one of the examples that I sent that I had seen a lot is that Cece Crawford on the Indie Ignite. So yeah, I'm being influenced by 22-year-old players in this league. I've noticed she does a lot of content from Nico Stones. She does a video with them all the time. And there are these earrings. They're like a little bit rectangular. And I've noticed other players on the Ignite are all wearing them. And so I just sent him that link among others. He tells me later, I hear the story, that he placed an order on like February 5th through the Nico Stones website. He said that the website itself, which I looked at, seemed like fairly legit. And he bought them and then got a tracking link that looked so messed up. Like, it took him to a website and he was like, I think my shit has been like, what's going
Yeah,
on?
you've
Like,
been hacked.
so he's thinking like it'll get here. And the tracking is saying that it's going to get here on like the 12th. And then it doesn't get here the 12th. It doesn't get here the 13th. So he's like, fuck it. I have to go to Macy's and I'll buy more
Aw.
earrings. Then he tells me the story on the 14th and I look into it more. We look into it more. And the like short of the story is that they did end up arriving on the 16th.
Nice.
They're very cute. They're
Oh,
very,
yeah.
Here's what I'll say. The color is good. You know, it's a gold color. I would say that
It's a good color.
Time
Good
to review
coloring.
the jewelry.
they're kind of like lighter than you would think. So they're not like incredible quality, but that's kind of a good thing, I guess, to be light if you're
Because
going to
they're kind of
wear
big earrings.
a big earring. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm cool with that. That's fine. I would say that like, how do they sound? A little plasticky, right?
Yeah.
Like metal-esque, but
Metal
but not metal.
plated.
Anyway, they did arrive. That's great. What Alex found on the internet, because he bought from the link that CC Crawford sent, he started receiving so many ads with earrings on his Instagram. He's constantly seeing Instagram ads for earrings now. And one of the pages that he got sent the earrings about were like the identical earrings. So I'm pretty sure this is just a company
It's a
in
shop.
China.
Yeah,
It's a
it's just
drop
like a
shipper.
drop shipping company.
A
Yeah.
drop shipping. This Ana Luisa,
That's
New
where-
York.
That's where I used to get all my jewelry.
Ana Luisa, New York has way more followers. This Nico Stones company, by comparison, the one that he bought, it has 80 followers. So
Oh,
CC
wow.
Crawford is the only person selling this jewelry. There are a couple other, if you like scroll on this Nico Stones Gems Instagram, there are a couple other quote unquote influencers, but they really do seem to be going all in on CC.
You can't, like, you gotta tell him to stop it. Like, this is obviously some sort of CIA cutout front. He's gonna get fucking put in a dumpster.
A side note, I do actually have a good jewelry recommendation.
Thank you.
It's called Studs. I think it's a legit company because they also have piercing stores.
Cool.
Nice. That
Yeah,
sounds like
yeah. It's
I just
like
got
oh,
I
a
just got
retail
this
store.
new.
big
Yeah, yeah.
draw. because I never take my earrings out, and they make the ones that are continuous hoops.
Nice.
They're
So they can't
called like
stab you.
yeah, and they don't get like caught or anything. Yeah. Well, Nikki, if you ever want to go get another piercing, I'll gladly go and get one with you.
Okay, I could do another one on my ear. I would like that.
Great.
Okay, so now we want to answer a couple of listener questions. Thank you for writing us. You always can ask us questions by emailing us at courtcaptainspod@gmail.com. So this note comes from Julia. All right, so Julia says that she's learned a ton about volleyball from watching PVF and listening to our podcast, but one major thing she's still unclear on is rotations, how they work, different types, what's legal, illegal, etc. And she would love our insight. Kelly, how do you feel about rotations?
Well, the very basic idea is that there are the court is divided into 6 zones.
The most key thing is that what you're keeping track of, the reason why we have it, is so we know who the next server is.
Yes.
It's all based on that.
Yeah.
And how we number the zones is the order of the servers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think, 1 is right back.
At bat, as we'll say.
At bat. Love some sports metaphors if we can get those involved.
Yeah.
2 would be on deck.
Yep.
Thanks. That's right front. And then we keep going in a
3 is in the hole.
In the hole. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we're going if you're facing the net, we're going in a counterclockwise way.
Yes.
From right back to right front, front, left back, middle back.
So if you're playing, that's your home.
Yeah,
like you
home
gotta
base.
you gotta be in your position. And like we talk about these zones, but the zones are kind of arbitrary. It really depends. You're not overlapping with the people in the zones next to you.
Yep. So
or
you have to
behind you.
start there when the ball is served to you. In all other volleyball on this planet, if you're in a zone, you have to start there before the play begins, whether you're serving or you're in receiving. In only this league, we heard that the PVF is trying out a rule for FIVB where when your team is serving, you don't got to stand in the order. Now, how many times have we seen the wrong server go back there as a result of that? A lot of times. It's happening. People are like, what? I thought that I
would be really confused.
Everybody has been so used to starting in your spot and then switching when your team serves.
Yeah.
And in receive, starting in that spot, hitting the ball once, and then going to your respective spots.
Yeah, you can break once the server makes contact with the ball. And you can go to your position. So if I'm the third server, but I'm playing outside, so my zone that I need to stand in is zone 3, so middle front. After whoever serves, I can then go to my position in left front.
So, and obviously, there are 6 different servers, which means that there are 6 different lineups, basically, because every time it's your turn to serve, we call that a side out. You know, you're rotating. Everybody's turning the dial, rotating one spot clockwise. So I think that's kind of like the basics.
Yeah. In terms of like strategy, right? Everyone in this league, they have 2 players of each position and they play opposite each other, right? So when I rotate back to serve, whoever's also playing my position rotates to the front row.
Mm-hmm.
You can do some fun things like run a 3 middle offense.
Oh, I did that in high school.
Me too. It's quite fun where maybe you have a middle, let's just say starting in middle front and then 2 middles, 1 in left back, 1 in right back. And so you can see you have more quote unquote middles. Now, what does that mean?
Yeah, what would that like more defensive?
It's more of like an offensive, like the mindset. Okay, we're going to be able to, if you have more middles on the court, you're running faster sets or something. But at this level, it doesn't really.
No one's doing that.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Also, everyone can
we
run
did in
any
high school.
set. So it's
Yeah,
like,
sure. It's like what's the.
But I think when you're in high school, it's kind of novel.
Yeah, a 3 middle offense means that everyone will play middle for 2 rotations and a pin for 1.
Yeah.
Right. So at some point, there's 2 middles in the front row. Kelly talked about that one rotation where there's a middle and middle front. But then when
Sure.
they spin the dial once, when they rotate, you have a middle and left front and right front. So for that one rotation, one of them needs to not play middle. But no one's doing that here.
No one's doing that.
For here, we've got two middles.
But Julia did
opposite
ask
each
what
other.
different types are.
Sure. That's
So,
very clear. That's
there we
very
go.
fair. Two middles are going to be across from each other. Two outsides are going to be across from each other, right? And then your setter and your right side or opposite hitter are going to be across from each other.
Yeah. And
So every
liberos
time-
can only play back row.
Yep. Typically for the middle.
Yep. But they could go in for any player.
As long as when that player gets to the front row, libero goes out at that time, right?
Yeah. Julia also asked what is legal and illegal. There's a concept called screening, which is illegal. So you can't purposefully block the view of the passers
When you're a blocker.
when you're like serving. Yeah, so if my team's serving, I can't like knowingly try to get in front of
the other team's passers.
the other team's passers to like block their view.
I see.
So that's illegal. But then at the same time, you also can't be overlapping your mates, the people next to you.
Then there's two things to think about
Oh yeah, wait, there's
when
more.
it comes to overlaps.
Yeah.
So we think about this mostly in serve receive. So obviously, you have to stay to the left of someone and to the right of someone. That overlapping matters amongst the back row players and amongst the front row players. So those three back row players need to stay in that order from left to right. Those three front row players need to stay in that order from left to right. Yes?
Yep.
Okay. Then
Yeah, so there's the front row and the back row aspect of it, right? Your neighbors, you can't overlap with your neighbors. And then you also can't overlap front row to back row. And what that means is that the person, if I'm in back row, the person in the zone directly in front of me in front row, we cannot overlap. I could, however, overlap with the person in right front or left front. That is okay. But it's all about the kind of the lanes. So that's going to be zone 1 to 2, 6 to 3, and 5 to 4. Honestly, dear listeners, this is really complicated to say over just
without
talking.
visuals.
I am sure there is a very helpful YouTube video out there that I maybe we'll find one and link it.
Yeah, that would be fun. But yeah, I think overall we did a great job.
I think we nailed it
without visuals.
Yeah.
Ian, what do you think?
Oh yeah, totally crystal clear.
Crystal clear. Clear as
Hell
mud.
yeah. All right, well, we did our best. Maybe we'll find a good video about it. Question number 2. This is from friend of the pod, longtime listener, Will
From Rockford.
Will.
So Will says, it seems like every sub for Vegas always works out beautifully. But few do for some of the other teams. I'm sad my Rise are down both opposites from the start of the year. What role do you see depth playing in the league this year? Who is killing it, players 8 through 16? Will that make a difference end of year for playoffs?
The first one that comes to mind just from the preseason and what's happened already is like we talked about Columbus Fury at the start of the year not having a lot of depth. That became a problem a lot quicker than we thought, but also these teams seem like they're in such flux, like signing people and trying new people out from their practice squad that it does not seem, it's not static. Columbus has done a lot already to change things around and try things out. So
yeah, the depth is super important, specifically for injury. I think that,
I mean, with like Lekator just got injured, I think Indy is really feeling it.
yeah, I think when there's an injury, even for a short amount of time, for like a few points, if you don't have someone who can step up and play just for that amount of time, coming off the bench and playing cold is like really not fun for anyone. But I think there are some players who can handle it better and perform better. And so like there's the injury piece. There's also like if that player is playing bad, throw somebody else in. Orlando has been doing that quite a bit lately. And I think it's kind of been working where a pin hitter is kind of off and they have a lot of pin hitters. Orlando has a lot of middles that I think can be really effective if those individuals are mentally able to like play cold. I think that the like players 8 to 16, is anybody killing it? It feels so spotty. I think that with Vegas, we're seeing certain outsides have really, really great days and then not have the consistency.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even say that their 8 to 16 are better. It depends on how you're talking to your teams. In college, I remember there being very specific some years that I played, A team, B team. There are certain 8 players who are going to for sure start all the time. And every once in a while, we switch it up a little bit. I think that there are some teams that I would guess are not doing that, are throwing everybody in. Everyone thinks that they could start. And so that's a very different mentality when you're like, I'm B squad and I'm coming in and there's all this pressure for me to make the starter next time, as opposed to what I think probably is happening with Vegas is like, it kind of could be anybody. And so if you believe that you deserve to be there, or your role is going to be to come in and produce points, as opposed to being worried about like whether I'm a starter or not. I think that that's what makes the 8 to 16 most successful, is like a mentality thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Also, I
Yeah,
mean,
makes sense.
maybe the practices are run differently,
Right.
and there's just better chemistry with everyone.
Like Omaha, I was going to mention, I said Omaha and then I didn't finish my thought. Omaha does seem to have very clear starters and non. There are
Yeah.
5 players who are not seeing the court over there at
Yeah.
all. Or there are some of these players that like don't get thrown in unless everything is going wrong.
Sure.
So it seems like that's one of the teams that I think people don't expect to start, Like there are plenty of people over there that don't. As opposed to Kathy George in the Rise, she tried how many different combinations of starting lineups for the first 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But to answer the end of year or playoffs, I think that like the 8 to 16 makes a difference if people are injured. That's like the number one reason it matters more at the end of the year. I mean, I feel like we saw injuries happen last year later in the season, and so the people coming off the bench and having a chance, that really mattered. Well, on the topic of injuries, especially based on Nia Shamay, that has been a tough one. Nia Shamay got added. I think maybe we talked about that last week, though, but she got added to the injury reserve.
Officially, she's been added, yeah.
Everybody else who I heard that Paula Sarame on Columbus is injured with something. But she's on the practice squad, which I don't understand the difference.
Honestly, I feel like we can't even trust this transactions
No,
thing.
probably not. But
They're
also,
lying
is
to us.
Angel, why would Angel do that?
We don't even know
They're
what practice
available to be
squad
picked
means.
I mean, we
We have
sort of do, but I guess
don't know
you're
what the
right.
guidelines are.
But why not short-term injured reserve?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Don't they get paid
like how much?
more?
Yeah, but like how long do you have to keep them on short term if you put them on short term?
I don't know.
Is it like
Short
15
term.
days?
Is that
Short-term
usually
number
a
of
thing?
days.
Well, usually there's like a minimum amount of days if you designate them as an injury that they have to be on there.
Mm.
So that might be like if you're just sending them down and you want them up in 4 days, you might not be able to do short-term IR them. But I don't know if that's the case at all. I'm just, that's just pure speculation on my end.
All right, well, maybe we'll
make some calls.
digging, make some calls and try to find out. So she got put on practice squad on the 11th of February. Nia Shamay on the 12th, short-term IR. Jenna Otek moved up to active to take her spot. Lydia Martin of the Indy Ignite was moved to practice squad.
And then immediately put back.
And then immediately put back.
I don't understand that. Like, she's been playing. I don't, like, what were they doing?
A few days later. Was it because, well, they moved a couple things around in those 3 days, right? So Okamore of Indy Ignite went to active. And then 3 days later, I know they had to make changes because Anna DeBeer got moved into active.
Oh, yeah.
But we haven't seen her yet.
Yeah, she's been injured.
I read somewhere that she like might have strained or tore 3 ligaments
Yeah,
in
she
that
had,
semifinal game.
yeah. Wow.
So
And she's back?
she's warming up. And people have seen her like suited and warming up, but she hasn't been in a match yet. And then, yeah, Lydia Martin got moved back to active as well, and Nuokolo to practice squad. And then, unfortunately, she got waived on the 17th. She was never able to find a spot. She was on and off a couple of teams these couple of years. And then, as Kelly mentioned, Lekator, short-term IR, which is a big bummer. As a result of that, they gave her all-star spot to Charity Looper.
Mm.
So fun
Nice.
opportunity for Charity. I bet she was like the next one.
Yeah.
And so she'll be at the All-Star game instead. And then for Vegas, Lane Van Buskirk came off the short-term IR back to active, and Sophie Davis got moved to practice squad. So those are the transactions. The only other thing I noticed on All-Star roster is that they added Kylie Murr because they only chose 3 liberos initially, and they wanted 2 per team. They thought about it, and they realized they wanted 2 liberos per team instead of just 1
That's nice.
on one of them.
Sweet.
Really good.
Makes
Really
sense.
good. Is it time
It's time.
for the Scorner? Scorner.
Week 6 plus a little peak of week 7 in there that we'll talk about as well. And it started on Wednesday, February 12th. Orlando Valkyries at the Columbus Fury on YouTube. Orlando dropped the first set by 10 and then won 3 in a row, winning in 4 in front of the Columbus fans. They lost the first 25-15, then won 26-24, 25-18, and 25-20 to take the match. Nobody was hitting out of the world. It was 216 for the Valks at the end of the day and 197 for the Fury. Brittany Abercrombie, 15 kills at 178. And Natalie Foster, coming off her Player of the Week, 11 kills at 333. Really awesome. Valkyries looking really good and continue to look good later in the week. Tough finishing for the Fury, but a good day from Isabella Rapaz, who finished with 16 kills at 229. All right, moving on to Thursday. San Diego at the Indy Ignite. Indy back in the W column. They dropped the mojo in 4 in front of the home fans. They won the first 25-21, the second 25-14. Then out of the break, they lost the third 18-25, and then finished it off 25-15. Huge day hitting from Indy. They hit 343 on the day despite, as Kelly mentioned earlier, Lekator leaving in the second set. I believe it was like a left ankle injury. We didn't see her for the rest of the week. Despite that, they only had 4 hitting errors on the whole day. And Ajani Teeler, another awesome game, 16 kills, 270, 4 blocks, 2 aces tossed in there as well. Nina Kajic also 16 kills, 395 and a block. Kendra Dahlke on the losing side, another big game. She's had a ton of big games this year. She finished with 22 kills at 327 and a couple aces as well. All right, same night. Atlanta Vibe at the Grand Rapids Rise on the YouTubes. The Vibe beat the Rise in 4 on the road, but it was really close. They lost the first 21-25, won the second 25-18, the third 25-22, and finished it off in the fourth 25-19. Grand Rapids gave the Vibe all they could handle. They outblocked them 12-4. They had 6 hitting errors to the Vibe's 13, and they hit well at 233, but Atlanta still won, finished the night hitting 253 with 10 aces. Corey Lewis, 12 kills at 429. Taya Beller, 10 kills at 474. Backed up a long day of work for Leah Edmond. She had 17 kills. Marley had the first of her 2 pretty big games this week, 52 assists, 20 digs, 4 kills, hitting at 400, and a block and an ace. Fill up the stat sheet. Shout out to Allison Bastianelli on the losing side, though. 6 blocks by herself, outblocked the whole Vibe team. That's pretty sweet. All right, the weekend, Saturday, February 15th. Grand Rapids Rise in Orlando on YouTube, and the Valks swept them, including a long third set. They won the first 25-18, the second 25-23, and the third 26-24, so still really close. Some really good stuff in those last couple sets. The Valks led on the evening again by Brittany Abercrombie. She hit 312 with 13 kills and 3 blocks, and I think it was in the second set she had a pretty miraculous kill, just laying out for a save. happened to fly over the net and fall in untouched for the kill. So that was pretty sweet. Erica Pritchard, another 11 kills, but this game she was blocked 6 times, so they were dialing in on her. She finished at 107. But a nice night for both teams on the blocking side. They combined for 20 blocks over 3 sets. Sweet. All right, Sunday. 2 games to end the actual week 6. San Diego Mojo at Omaha on YouTube. Another sweep for Omaha in front of almost 13,000 people in Omaha. It was bumping in there. They finished the day hitting 299 to the Mojo's 170. Reagan Cooper 10 kills at 444 and Brooke 9 kills at 409. So that's pretty good, it seems like. And the Mojo were led by Kayla Lund, 10 kills at 320 and had 3 blocks. Later that evening, national TV, Indy Ignited Atlanta Vibe on CBS Sports Network. It was a big show. The Vibe win in a close fiver. It was 28-30 in the first set, taken by Indy. Then Atlanta won 25-19, 25-18 before dropping the fourth, 22-25, and finishing the game off 15-13. Leah Edmond brute forced her way to victory. She swung 60 times. She had 25 kills, a couple aces, and a couple blocks as well on the day. On the losing side, Nina Kadrich matched Leah Edmond. She had 59 tries of her own, but only 18 kills at 119. And then finally, our secret bonus game for the week, Monday, February 17th, Vegas Thrill at Columbus Fury on YouTube. And Columbus put together a pretty awesome win. They beat the top of the table Vibe in 4 sets, winning the first 25-20, the second 25-20, dropping the third 22-25, and finishing the game off 25-21. They were led by Rob Hodge, 51 swings, 19 kills at 196, and Terry, who had 15 kills at 143. Those two did the lion's share of the work, but down the roster, everybody hit incredibly well. Vegas still played pretty well. They hit 209 to the Fury's 248. Charity Looper on her way to the All-Star game, finished with 14 kills at 229. Columbus won it on the day, and, that's their second of the year, but they're still in touching distance. They're around. It's only a couple games down in the standings. And that was week 6 and a little bit of 7.
Beautiful.
Wow.
As of today, right? Like after that little bit of 7, Omaha and Vegas tied for first.
Wow.
Based on winning percentage. I think you would say that Omaha is above based on set percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Because Vegas has lost more sets because they've played far more sets. And they love that reverse sweep, which they could not pull off against Columbus. With Orlando in 3rd, Atlanta in 4th. Wait, hang on. Is that the top 4 that me and Kelly thought?
Hey, I saw the Ajani Teeler interview. She's on board. They know they're good. Okay, they know they're good. They know they're making it. They just got to figure it out. They still played pretty well without Lekator.
It's true. Ajani is incredible. But they're in 5th. Grand Rapids in 6th. San Diego in 7th. Columbus in 8th.
Orlando tied on wins now with the top of the table, too. They're really good.
It's very fun this year. Like last year, Atlanta took everything. Like they would not lose.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was kind of like, oh, yeah, Atlanta again. Anyone could beat anyone.
Yeah, Atlanta has already... So last year, the whole year, they lost 5 matches. This year, they've lost 5 matches so far. So, you're right. It's very different. And, dare I say the word parody again? The parody. It's good. All of these announcers last year were like, the parody in this league, it just makes everything so exciting. And then we went on our interview at the Grand Rapids game, and I said, the parody is so great. Big insight. But it's what we're seeing again this year. And it does make it fun to watch.
And, these teams weren't constructed by a overlord or whatever.
Well, is there anything that you wanted to highlight about the match play this week?
We talked about the Valkyries a little bit, but it was a pretty dominant week for them. Lost 1 set to the resurgent Columbus Fury. But other than that,
the Orlando Valkyries swept the Rise.
Yes.
I didn't think that was coming, but it really did. I think that Brittany is awesome. The rest of the hitters just did fine, but they didn't even need to do that much, it seemed like. They just always had great energy. I
Yeah.
mean, Grand Rapids made it close.
Yeah, Grand Rapids is struggling a little bit. I will say, like, Carly Snyder this game and against Vibe really wasn't performing very well. It isn't what we've seen from her on Grand Rapids in the past. So wonder what's going on there.
I don't know.
Maybe she's tired.
Those two matches were
Back to back.
Thursday, Saturday. Is that right?
Yeah.
And it was home away.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be the reason every time, but I do
No.
always think about it. I think people got stuck I think Grand Rapids got stuck at the Orlando airport afterwards too.
Oh.
Like 8-hour delay.
Whoa.
Cam Turner was not happy.
That stinks.
So it was a long week and for the Rise.
But they definitely needed her, I think.
Yeah. If you don't have your right side.
Yeah. I will say, like Allison Bastianelli, though, she's blocking up a storm. She's very solid. I feel like she must have like crazy long arms. Like I want to know what it's like to go up against her. Like, because like consistently, she's just a very good blocker.
Yeah, like she's outblocked the opposing team multiple times this year, I believe.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
She's 6'3".
I mean, that'll do it. But like,
what's the wingspan?
Yeah, what's the wingspan?
Hard to say.
That should be a stat. The height and wingspan.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, I feel like sometimes they would put
it's just like, hey, we can send the announcers out on that, right? Like we're past the amount of like, all right, we know who can jump real high now from the commentators.
Right.
There's these few people that are short, they can jump high. Find me who has the longest arms, commentators. Figure out who on your team has the longest arms.
On the 13th, Kaylee Nelson, who was taking over for Chimay, hit 304, got set 23 times. Not horrible. But when they went to Orlando, she was hitting negative. So that's going to be a problem when, as we were talking about before, like who else do you have there?
Do you think that she regrets getting rid of Sheridan?
I would say maybe. I don't know. The thing is, Sheridan probably wanted to be the go-to.
Yeah.
Sheridan wanted to be the go-to. And when Chimay stepped up, Sheridan didn't want to take, I think, the backseat role. Yeah. Because she's a veteran and she doesn't want to be the second in command in that spot. Like, she wasn't going to be happy, even as in Sheridan, wasn't going to be happy if she got her spot back because the rookie got hurt.
Yeah.
So that might have mentally not been good vibes.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to do that. It just sucks now.
Well, now you have 3 liberos and you need a right side. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. It doesn't. Maybe Kaylee just needs the reps here. Like, I don't know. But there's no one else. So, right? Unless you have a middle swing right, which doesn't seem to be all that possible. An outside? Can Paige hit right side? Paige Briggs? Romine?
I don't know.
I might start looking at that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I heard about this 3 middle offense. That sounded pretty sick.
He's connecting the dots.
Wow.
Wait, that's very interesting. We did not plan that at all.
Play the 3 middles.
It's
like novel.
All right, let's talk about Atlanta.
Leah
5-setter.
Leah's got her groove back. Not that she lost it, but
I mean, the groove was a little bit lost.
Yeah, but back on her player of the week bullshit, I guess.
Yeah.
And just absolutely dominating. She was really fun to watch.
Uh-huh. I liked Taya Beller in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned her stats, 474, 10 kills. That's pretty awesome. Pretty good.
Yeah, and hit over 300 in their game against Indy.
Pia Timmer's back. So, and then in this game against Grand Rapids, Anna Dixon played right side. So surprisingly, maybe, I don't know. Taylor had started it outside. There's the math connecting. So Taylor had started it outside and then Pia Timmer took the other 3 sets. Though that second outside spot got about 30 attempts. Leah had 43. Anna Dixon on the right side had 41. And then each middle got about 20. It's not terrible.
No, actually, those middle numbers.
Taya at 19 and Corey Lewis at 21 attempts.
21 might be the most that any
Yeah.
middle's gotten this whole
Well, and
season.
then I
No, I
think they were
agree.
both had 19 the next game too, so
Wow.
they're trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that middle offense being run. Thank you, Marley.
Honestly, like just looking at this stat sheet against Grand Rapids, we were correct to say Marley should have been in Player of the Week consideration.
Her indie day,
Okay.
60 assists, 13 digs, 4 kills on 5 swings, 2 aces.
Yeah, also
Holy
amazing.
cow. Yeah, no, she's on one. I mean, she did have that was a five setter,
Yeah.
not
But
an
still hitting
average. That's
291 against one of the top teams in the league.
yep. That's
Like,
huge.
yeah,
Way to go, Marley. Marley had a fire lit.
yeah.
I mean, love Mia so dang much. I don't like no shade. I'm not saying that Mia's bad and Marley's good. Just both can be true that they're both good. And I feel that Marley is really making a bit of a statement in week 6. You're right though. Indy hitting 223 in a 5-set loss. I guess that makes a lot
In
of
a fi
sense based on it being 5 sets and them being close.
Yeah. But I mean, that game was obviously, I think, the best game of the week, and that was also Indy's first game without Lekator.
Yeah.
And they went all the way to 5. They lost by 2 in that 5th set. Like I was impressed by that because that's something we've talked about all season is just how much she's been doing for them. And they didn't win, so whatever, but Isabel Martin had 15 kills on 36. They were in that game. They
Hmm.
had a bunch of hitting errors that hurt, but you know, it at least gives me some optimism about how they will be until Lekator comes back from her ankle injury.
Yeah, I agree. That's like a good loss. I hate to say it to
Yeah.
anyone who believes that that's an oxymoron. I do really feel like there's really good stuff in that match that happened for Indy. And hopefully they're not like too down in the dumps about it. I mean, interesting timing with LMM going on injured reserve and Anna DeBeer maybe being ready.
Mhm.
That could prove to be a very interesting arc for Indy. Anna DeBeer
Yeah.
gets in here, they hold on, they get a few wins with her being back, and then LMM comes back in time for a later season. They might be storming.
Their next match
Everybody
is
plays on Thursday, I think.
and their next match is against Vibe again.
What?
Rematch.
Wow. On
Lord.
Thursday. That'll be fun.
At least Atlanta, here I think actually is part of what happened here. We had that one game on Monday, random Monday, first Monday game of the year. And now everybody's going to play on Thursday because they want to give everyone a rest on Friday before the All-Star game on Saturday. Yes, we all feel that way. The thing is, they said, fuck you, Atlanta. You have to go to Columbus on Sunday
Yeah.
for a 2 o'clock game, 2 o'clock Eastern. Oh, I guess the All-Star game is a day game. Because
Yeah.
why not? So at least they have, I thought it was a night game, and then they had to go to Columbus the next
Oh,
day.
that would have been rough.
But at least they're sending to Atlanta to Indy early, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
else has to travel on Friday. Atlanta gets to at least the All-Stars, I suppose. Or maybe everybody? Do you think all of Atlanta is going to stay in Indy, watch the All-Star game, and then go over to Columbus?
Oh yeah.
I mean, at least Atlanta, yeah.
I
Do you
wonder
think
I wonder
everybody's
if
going to be there?
I was gonna say, are all the teams gonna be there? Are they gonna have a
How
red
many?
carpet?
Well, let's see. Where are they going to be coming from? There's going to be obviously 2 teams in Grand Rapids, 2 teams in Indy. Thank I go nowhere. 2 teams in Orlando, 2 teams in San Diego. That's San Diego. They said Omaha.
Yeah, they're like, maybe we'll just take a few days off and not go to the All-Star game as
I
a
wonder
We'll
what
team.
just
the
not
like
go.
what the sentiment is if it's like coaches saying you can go if you want or it's highly encouraged or like
Yeah.
I don't it could be fun. I mean, if you're not Columbus or Atlanta and have to play on Sunday, why not?
Right. If you get to go.
The why not would be because you can go literally anywhere else you want to go other than Indianapolis for those 3 days.
No, I do think you should have that in.
Interesting idea.
Interesting point. Okay,
Yeah.
well,
In February.
that I think might be explaining that might be explaining the indie turnaround, right? Is like they're throwing Atlanta a bone. They're saying, "We're sorry, we're making you play on Sunday." But at least you'll be in Indy that whole time. And for Columbus, it's like at least you'll be in Michigan, I suppose. Okay, what else we got? Do you want to talk about that Vegas Columbus match? Because
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
It was
What
a
an
big one.
upset. What?
I thought Vegas might do it again, though. Do that reverse
The
sweep
I
one
thought
reverse.
they,
more time.
I thought they were going to too. I don't know what happened because I mean they really didn't play that badly. I think Columbus, like Izzy, played great again. She's continuing to impress me.
Hmm.
And I think Megan Lush had a great game,
Yep.
which, as we've said before, has not been happening
Hmm.
consistently this
Yeah.
season. So that really
Kate,
turned things around for them.
Kaylee Ramelsberg,
Mhm.
Abby
Also, Abby
Walker.
Walker, their middles turned it on too,
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
which has they've been
everybody other than
lacking.
like, yeah, their two volume hitters that day, everyone was just hitting perfectly. So I guess that helps.
Didn't Kaylee have 4 or 5 aces in a row?
Five. She had five aces on the day. So I think it was like four in a row.
Yeah. It
Okay,
was
I missed that. What kind of serve does she have?
it's a float, I think. The thing is, 2 of those were tape roll.
Oh,
Yeah.
So it's pretty low. Like, I think that what's more important, I don't know if it's velocity as much as it is like right over the tape,
Angle of
placement wise. It doesn't go very high in the air, is what I'm saying. I will say that Vegas, while on paper seemed pretty good, there were some streaky. So Hannah got taken out. She was kind of streaky. And really, like, what I noticed most was that their errors were really bad errors. So it's like back to that, like, feeling of being let down, that like means so much more than just hitting a great shot and being close. Like, they were bad mistakes.
yeah.
It
I
was
think like
messy, out of system all the time. Alicia could not get a pass within the 10-foot line for a long time.
yeah. I think that I forget who it was. It was like a match point. They just bombed it out of bounds. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh, not on match point.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad you're swinging for the stars, but maybe let's aim for
the inbounds
the
lines. Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
9 meter by 9 meter square on the other side.
I mean, if you shoot
Right.
for the stars with a volleyball, you'll never win any points.
I thought Georgiadis, the Columbus libero, her defense seemed good to me. I think she's been stepping in a good way. You know what I noticed? When the middle is serving, Megan Lush plays left back.
Yes.
I don't know if it's every single time, but
Well,
this match was
yeah.
the first time I noticed it happening.
Well, it has to be someone else the other time the middle serves.
Right. Maybe it's then the middle goes and plays left back on that time. But you're right. When Megan's back there though,
Yeah.
she'll play left back, and it was very good for them.
That checks out. That's normal. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
think so. Did
Yeah.
she play libero abroad at all? I feel like she might have.
Oh, I
Megan
don't know.
Lush. I think she might have. I
Wow.
can't remember, but
She has pretty good defense.
she's great on defense.
Yeah.
And her serve receive was 70% positive, 40% perfect.
Yeah, that seems good.
Those are some Brooke Nunneveller
Seems pretty good.
numbers. Quite good. I was happy to see Columbus get one. I mean, 8 beating 1 is kind of nuts. Unfortunately, it meant that Omaha went to the top of the standings, but
You're such a
uh
hater.
They were so happy. All the videos and pictures after the match. It was very
Well, that's what
exciting.
like they're a game behind the Mojo now, two behind the Rise. Like it seemed so dark for a while there, but like it is still fully available to them.
I'm very thoughtful about how beating the best team, like what Angel can do, what types of in huddle pump up speeches he can have when his 1-7 team beats the number 1 team. Like, you feel like you got to be able to
Yeah, it's a
survive off
building
those
block.
fumes for a while, the fumes of that
Absolutely.
win.
Yeah. I'm
And
excited to
maybe
watch
it'll
them
give
play again.
them, yeah,
When are
the
they playing
confidence that
again?
they need. They're playing
Well, everyone's
at
playing
Grand
Thursday,
Rapids.
as we know.
Yep, they're
And then
playing
they
at Grand
play
Rapids.
Atlanta on Sunday.
Yeah, they're
Whoa.
busy.
The
Thursday,
Grand Rapids
Sunday.
game, that'll be big. Grand Rapids will be out for blood.
Yeah. And then we said Vibe at Indy, Vegas at Orlando. That's gonna maybe be really good.
Yeah. They're both playing real well now.
And
Yeah.
all 3 of those matches are at the exact same time,
Love that.
all on YouTube, so you can watch them back afterwards if you need to, which
I'll
I
have one on
imagine you
my
will be.
phone, one on my computer, and one on my PlayStation. All
Great.
three of them playing at the same
Great,
time.
Ian. Ian, you should go live.
I need a fourth device. They're all in use.
Oh, you've heard of third spaces? How about a fourth device?
Yeah, I need a fourth devices. I might have a PSP or something I can video call from and get.
Maybe a DS.
Yeah.
We can
An
lock that in.
An iPad, man.
Oh.
Oh yeah, Mary's got a Switch. I wonder if that has a YouTube app on it.
I don't think it does.
Damn.
And then Omaha at Mojo it starts 3 hours later. So
Nice.
that one's on VBTV.
Nightcap.
Sleepy.
Wow, what a day of volleyball that will be on Thursday. And then everyone gets to rest on Friday before the All-Star game.
Mm.
It does say on the league schedule page, Team Collier at Team Shondell.
Yeah.
And those little logos, it's like...
I had to flip a coin to see who's going to be the home team.
I want to hear Ian air his grievances.
Dear PVF.
Okay.
All right, let me get my on-screen timer.
Oh, I like that. On-screen timer's better than mine.
You ready, Ian?
I'm ready.
Go.
Okay. Listen, commercial breaks in the PVF, they're not commercial. Which you might think that's great. That's great. I've taken, I have time to take, personal moments of reflection. I can stretch. It borders on yoga. Nice. The only problem being, I don't want to be a better person. Okay, I don't need that. From volleyball, don't want it. It's making me have thoughts that I shouldn't have. I should be being told what I need to buy now. And I think volleyball, get on that. Sell that time because I don't want to be alone with my thoughts. Okay. All right. That's it. We've nailed it.
It's a great point, Ian.
I know.
Get some money.
Sell me something.
I think I agree.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I need to be subsumed into the commercial experience. Or just like, I don't know, show highlights or something. I don't know.
Yeah, show something.
That would be fun. I remember they had the Player of the Week commercials last year.
That was dope.
Yeah.
They do have a pretty good, like, just PVF hype video. That's a commercial that they play all the time. Except it's great. And they got a good song choice. And then they got this voiceover that comes in. It's like the shittiest audio.
All right. Should I outro us?
Let's do it.
Yep.
Thanks for listening to Court Captain's Volleyball Podcast. Please give us 5 stars and maybe a little review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Actually, I don't think you can review on Spotify, but on Apple Podcasts, we would love that.
You can give us a 5 stars, I think, or something.
5 stars on Spotify. 5 stars on Spotify. Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and a little review if you like what you're hearing. Support small podcasts. If you don't like what you're hearing, then please just go ahead and mind your business. And we mean it. Follow us on Instagram at CourtCaptainsPod and email us your questions or comments at courtcaptainspod@gmail.com.
And don't forget to be the captain of your own court. Have a good week.
Nice.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.